What is up, everybody? This is your guy Cly, and welcome back to Budget Buys. And today, I'm gonna have to say I told you so. And for those of you that are confused by that, in a recent video I talked about how the Booga fivebelow collaboration coming to an end meant that fivebelow was going to start getting in even more gaming gear at the $10 price point that is of a higher quality due to the fact that they don't have to pay Booga any licensing fees. And here is proof. However, one thing I did get wrong in that prediction was the brand name. I wholeheartedly thought fivebelow was going to be getting in gear under their Titan brand. However, as you can see here, this is under their Jaxx brand. And yes, this is distributed by 1616 Holdings, which, as many of my longtime viewers know, is fivebelow's parent company. The part that really surprised me about this is that Jaxx is the branding that they usually slap on audio gear like headphones, headsets, and the occasional speaker. But in this case, we have a keyboard, as well as a few other things that you'll be seeing in future videos. And yes, there is indeed a matching headset, and this is honestly the only part of this kit that I could actually see being Jaxx. What we have here is a 65% wired membrane keyboard with a permanently attached wire, as well as very nice adjustable feet on the back. I know I geek out about that every time, but I love this feature, so I'm never not going to mention it. As an added bonus, they actually spent the extra money to get some rubber pads here at the front. Sadly, they didn't put any where they have a space for them up on the adjustable feet. Oh well. Now, some of you are probably confused by the fact that I called this a 65% keyboard as opposed to a 60% keyboard. And if I bring in the Booga keyboard that fivebelow used to carry, the fancy gold edition, you might be able to notice the difference. And for those of you who still don't see it, that difference is the fact that we have arrow keys as well as a few additional keys off to the side here. In the case of the Booga keyboard, and pretty much every 60% keyboard out there, you're going to have the arrow keys on the function layer of various keys. In this case, we have them on W, A, S, and D. Like I said, the differences are subtle, but you gotta admit, having dedicated arrow keys is a huge difference. Sadly, 65% gaming keyboards are not super common over here. And that's kinda sad because I much prefer the 65% profile to the 60% profile. Now, just because the arrow keys aren't on the function layer, that doesn't mean there isn't a function layer. This is a very truncated keyboard after all. And as such, when you hold down function and hit the escape key, that's going to give you the grave key, and holding down function, shift, and escape is going to give you a tilde. Holding down function and hitting 1 through 0 is going to give you F1 through F10 respectively. The hyphen is going to give you F11, and the equals will give you F12. The W is going to swap your W, A, S, and D keys with your arrow keys, because some people do like having their arrow keys over here, even if you have dedicated ones. E is going to launch your media player, R is volume down, T is volume up, Y is mute, U is previous track, I is play pause, O is next track, P launches your email software, left bracket brings up your home page, and right bracket brings up your calculator. Function plus home will be insert, delete will be end, page up will be print screen, and page down will be pause. When you have your LEDs turned on, holding down function and hitting the LED power key will activate the breathing mode, and function plus the down arrow will decrease your LED brightness while the up arrow increases the LED brightness. And when you're in breathing mode, function plus the left arrow is going to decrease the breathing speed, while the right arrow increases the breathing speed. Last but not least, if you hold down the function key and hit the Windows button, denoted by this square, that is going to lock your Windows key. Like I always say, that is a much needed feature in all gaming keyboards. It is very easy to hit this key and bring up your start menu, which is typically going to kick you out of game. And for the curious, this is kind of what the keyboard looks like in the dark. It is a lot brighter in person. My camera just doesn't really want to get along with it right now. And there you have the Jaxx LED gaming keyboard from fivebelow. A little $10 65% gaming keyboard. And okay, I gotta admit, I'm not the biggest fan of the lightning bolt aesthetic, but it does make this stand out. Also, I probably should get used to this aesthetic because I'm gonna be covering it a few more times. That being said, as for whether or not this is actually worth the $10 asking price, most definitely. Like I said previously, the 65% profile is my favorite of all time. And this is not a common profile. Typically, you're going to be paying over $20 for a keyboard in this profile that is membrane, and the mechanical versions are going to be even more expensive. And if it's a profile that you've never tried before and you end up not liking it, you're going to be out a lot of money. With this, $10, you can try it out. You don't like it, fivebelow has a really forgiving return policy. So yeah, like I said, definitely worth the money. Now, one last thing I want to touch on before signing off is the fact that this keyboard is not compatible with the new keycap sets that are available at fivebelow. I've featured 3 of them in a previous video. Sadly, the 4th is not available at my local store. Like I've been saying throughout this video, this is a membrane keyboard, and these are made for mechanical keyboards, like this Red Dragon caster that I reviewed in a previous video. And as you can probably tell, this has the same profile as the Jaxx keyboard, and as such, I'm also a really big fan of that one. And I think that pretty much covers everything about this little $10 keyboard. So, until next time, this is your guy, Cly, signing off.